I always get a ton of questions about starting a nonprofit. But before you go form one, let me give you a couple of things to think about. First, the IRS says you can operate as a tax exempt organization as long as your gross receipts are under $5,000 a year without having to get a letter of determination for filing from a 501c3 status. So as long as you're under $5,000 a year, you don't need to file it, but you must be incorporated. You must have a different entity. You can do it with an unincorporated association, but I don't recommend it. So incorporate, stay under $5,000. You're good to go as a tax exempt organization. Secondly, you can team up with an existing group that is 501c3 and ask them to be the fiscal sponsor. Now, if you do that, your donations will go to that group, who will then forward them to you and supervise how you use them. They will normally take around 10 to 20% as well to cover the bookkeeping and the fiscal sponsorship arrangement. Your funds won't entirely be under your control, but for the most part, your fiscal sponsor will go along with what you want to do. This is a very reasonable thing to do. I know people howl 10 to 20%, oh my God. But look, compared to having to do the bookkeeping and running of a nonprofit, that's a cheap price to pay. I would strongly recommend that you consider that. Team up with another group and have them be your fiscal sponsor. And finally, you could just avoid the whole thing and run it as a hobby. Don't incorporate, just people will give you money as gifts, which are not income, for you to use with this charity. A gift is not earned income, but it is reported on the Schedule C. You can deduct your expenses that are associated with your nonprofit work, although technically it's nonprofit, that are associated with doing all these good works up to the extent that they match, that they reach the income. So if you got gifts of $5,000 or $200 to feed the homeless, you could deduct your expenses associated with that up to $200. It's called a hobby and it's filed on a Schedule C. If you do want to go ahead with incorporating and filing for 501c3 status, we have some very reasonably priced courses. I'll drop the link in the comments. Go do that, see if you want to do it yourself. There is a free segment on screening to see if you're even eligible for the online short form. Take a look at it. I'll drop the link in the comments below. So think about it carefully before you get into the whole 501c3 world. You may not need to do it. Any questions, drop me a line. For more information on raising money, please go to jdonate.com. See you there.